On a seemingly ordinary day in July 2014, Wendi Adelson, a young law professor in Florida, vanished without a trace. This chilling statement marks the beginning of a mystery that has puzzled investigators and true crime enthusiasts alike for over a decade. Wendi was not just an ordinary person, she was a respected law professor at Florida State University, known for her brilliance, charm, and dedication to her profession. She was a beloved figure in her community, admired by her colleagues and students alike. Her life seemed perfect on the outside, but as we delve deeper, we find that beneath the surface lay a complex web of circumstances that could potentially explain her sudden disappearance. On the day she vanished, Wendi was seen leaving her home in Tallahassee, Florida in the early hours of the morning. She was said to be in good spirits with no indication of any impending trouble. As the day progressed, however, she failed to show up for work, which was entirely out of character. Her phone went unanswered and there was no sign of her at her home or usual haunts. Wendy's baffling disappearance sent shockwaves through her community. Friends, family, and colleagues were left grappling with a whirlwind of questions. Where could she have gone? Why would she leave without telling anyone? Was she in trouble? The more they delved into her life, the more they realized that Wendy's life was not as straightforward as it seemed. Wendi Adelson, a woman who had everything going for her, had vanished into thin air, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a community in shock. The police launched an extensive search, but no trace of Wendi was found. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the mystery of her disappearance only deepened. But what could have led to Wendy's sudden disappearance? Could it be a simple case of a runaway, or was there something more sinister at play? As we delve deeper into this unsolved mystery, we'll attempt to unravel the circumstances surrounding the sudden disappearance of Wendi Adelson, a story that continues to captivate and confound to this day. As the hours ticked by, worry grew, and an extensive investigation was launched. In the initial stages, local law enforcement quickly turned the town upside down in search of Wendi. The local police force, known for their dedication and tenacity, were the first on the scene. They carried out a thorough search of Wendy's home, hoping to find any clues that might lead to her whereabouts. Unfortunately, their efforts yielded little to no results. As the case grew cold and the leads slim, the Federal Bureau of Investigation was brought in to provide their expertise. Known for cracking some of the most complex cases, the FBI's involvement certainly added a new dynamic to the investigation. They employed advanced forensic techniques and profiling, hoping to shed some light on the mystery. The first few leads seemed promising. A witness reported seeing a suspicious vehicle in Wendy's neighborhood around the time of her disappearance. The vehicle was quickly traced, but it only led to a dead end, as it had been reported stolen days before Wendy's disappearance. Another lead came from a tip-off about a man acting strangely at a local gas station on the day Wendi vanished. The surveillance footage was thoroughly examined, but the man was eventually ruled out as a person of interest. With every lead turning into a dead end, the investigation was proving to be quite the challenge. The lack of solid evidence and the increasing pressure from the public only added to the complexity of the case. As the investigation continued, so did the search for Wendi. Search parties combed through forests, dive teams explored local bodies of water, and volunteers posted flyers around town. Yet despite their tireless efforts, Wendi remained missing. With each passing day, the hope of finding Wendi alive was fading. The question on everyone's mind was, who would want to harm Wendi? The answer to this question was not as clear-cut as one would hope, and it would take more than just an ordinary investigation to uncover the truth behind Wendy's disappearance. As the investigation deepened, secrets began to emerge from the shadows. The first secret that surfaced was about Wendy's troubled marriage. Wendi Adelson, a woman known for her vivacious personality and infectious laughter, was not as content as she seemed. Behind her radiant smile there was a turbulent marriage. Her husband, a man of affluence and influence, was said to have a volatile temper, and their union was far from the picture-perfect image they portrayed to the world. Could this have been a motive for her to disappear, to escape an unbearable situation? Next, the spotlight fell on her strained relationship with her family. The Adelsons were a close-knit clan, but beneath the surface, tension simmered. Wendi was often at odds with her siblings and parents, their disagreements escalating into bitter arguments. The strain was such that Wendi had even considered distancing herself from them entirely. Could a family feud have escalated to the point of causing her disappearance? Then, there was the matter of potential threats. Wendi, a prominent figure in her community, had her share of detractors. She had received ominous messages in the past, and there were whispers of a stalker shadowing her. Yet she had brushed these off as the price of her public persona. Could one of these threats have materialized, leading to her vanishing without a trace? Each secret that was unearthed added another layer of complexity to the case. They painted a picture of a woman trapped in the turmoil of her personal life, surrounded by potential danger. But were these threats and troubles the cause of her disappearance, or were they simply a smokescreen, hiding the real reason behind her vanishing? Could these secrets hold the key to Wendy's disappearance, or were they merely distractions from the real culprit? Each revelation raises more questions, pulling us deeper into the labyrinth of this unsolved mystery. As we delve further into the investigation, we find ourselves tangled in a web of deceit and uncertainty, each thread leading us closer to the truth, or perhaps further into the abyss. As the list of suspects began to take shape, two figures stood out from the rest. The first suspect, a man of mystery known only as John Doe. He was a close associate of Wendy, their relationship shrouded in secrecy. Some say they were friends, others suggest they were romantically involved. But what we do know is that John had a motive. He was said to be involved in shady business deals and was facing financial ruin. Wendy, known for her wealth, was a lifeline he couldn't afford to lose. But could desperation have led John to commit such a heinous act? Then there was Jane Smith, another enigma in this puzzling case. Jane was Wendy's estranged sister, a relationship strained by years of familial disputes and bitter rivalry. Jane had always felt overshadowed by her successful sister, and their relationship had soured over the years. Jane stood to inherit a significant sum from Wendy's estate, providing her with a motive. But was jealousy and greed enough to push Jane over the edge? As the investigation progressed, both John and Jane came under intense scrutiny. The police delved into their lives, searching for any evidence that could tie them to Wendy's disappearance. They interviewed friends, family, and associates, hoping to uncover a hidden truth. But the more they dug, the more elusive the truth became. It seemed that every lead ended in a dead end. Every piece of evidence was circumstantial at best. And as the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the trail grew cold. The prime suspects, although shrouded in suspicion, remained just that. Suspects. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the police couldn't ignore the potential role of John and Jane. Their connection to Wendy, their motives, and their suspicious behavior all pointed to their involvement. But without definitive proof, the police were left grappling in the dark. But with no concrete evidence, could the police pin the crime on these suspects? Or was the real villain still lurking in the shadows? With no resolution in sight, theories and speculations began to swirl around Wendy's case. As with any unsolved mystery, the absence of a definitive conclusion opens the floodgates to a myriad of conjectures, each one more intriguing than the last. One theory that has gained traction over time is the possibility that Wendy staged her own disappearance. This claim is not without its basis. Wendy, a successful lawyer, had the intellectual capacity to plan and execute a complex scheme to vanish without a trace. Supporters of this theory argue that her disappearance was a bid for a fresh start, a way to escape the pressures and expectations of her life. Yet, as plausible as this theory might be, it does not fully account for the abruptness of Wendy's disappearance or the distress it caused her family. The theory of foul play is another that has been widely circulated. Wendy's sudden disappearance, her abandoned car, and her untouched belongings all suggest a scenario where she may have been forcibly taken. But who would want to harm Wendy? Was it a random act of violence or a premeditated act by someone within her circle? Then there's the conspiracy theory, a narrative that never fails to capture the imagination. Some speculate that Wendy's disappearance is tied to her work as a lawyer, potentially involving dangerous individuals or even organized crime. However, without substantial evidence, this theory remains firmly in the realm of speculation. As we delve deeper into these theories, we must remember they are just that, theories. They are not confirmed facts, but rather attempts to fill in the gaps of an unsolved mystery. They serve as a reminder of how much we still don't know, and how desperate we are for answers. Which of these theories holds the truth, and will we ever know what really happened to Wendi Adelson? As with many unsolved mysteries, the truth may be stranger than any theory we can conceive, or perhaps, the answer is hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right pair of eyes to uncover it. The mystery of Wendy's disappearance continues to baffle us, a chilling reminder of the unknown. 10 years have passed since Wendy's disappearance, and the case remains unsolved. A decade has come and gone, and yet the whereabouts of Wendi Adelson remain shrouded in mystery. The case, once ablaze with speculation and theories, has now cooled, simmering in the background of the public's consciousness, but never fully disappearing. Despite the time elapsed, the investigation into Wendy's disappearance is far from a closed book. Law enforcement agencies continue to work tirelessly, sifting through old evidence and following up on any new leads that trickle in. As time wears on, the hope of cracking the case may wane, but the resolve of the investigators remains unbroken. In the last few years, there have been a few glimmers of potential breakthroughs. Advances in technology have allowed for re-examination of previously inconclusive evidence. DNA analysis and digital forensics have come a long way since Wendy's disappearance, providing investigators with new avenues to explore. Any new discoveries, however, are closely guarded secrets of the investigative team, released only when they can provide substantial progress in the case. Public interest in Wendy's case, while not as fervent as it once was, has not completely waned. Periodic media coverage and the enduring fascination with unsolved mysteries keep Wendy's story alive. Internet sleuths and armchair detectives continue to dissect every detail of the case, sometimes bringing fresh perspectives or overlooked information to the fore. Despite these efforts today, the investigation into Wendy's disappearance remains as complex and elusive as ever. A decade of digging, theorizing, and chasing leads has yet to bring us any closer to understanding what happened to Wendi Adelson. The question remains, suspended in the air like a ghost: will the truth about Wendy's disappearance ever come to light? Or will it remain one of the most perplexing unsolved mysteries in history? Every unsolved mystery holds a story waiting to be unraveled. The case of Wendi Adelson is no different. The questions, the theories, the speculations, they all form a complex web of possibilities, and yet the truth remains elusive. We invite you to join this community of mystery solvers. Pore over the details, scrutinize the evidence, and share your own theories. What do you think happened to Wendy? Your thoughts could be the spark that lights the path to understanding. If you've been captivated by this story and want to delve deeper into the world of unsolved mysteries, don't forget to subscribe. By hitting the notification bell, you'll be the first to know when we post new content. It's an ever-evolving journey, and we're eager to have you with us every step of the way. In the world of unsolved mysteries, every theory counts. So, what do you think happened to Wendi Adelson?